please.
Operator, I've been trying to dial Murray Hill 40098 for the last 3/4 of an hour, and the line is always busy. Could you try it for me, please?
Murray Hill 40098. One moment, please.
I just didn't see how it could be busy that long. It's my husband's office. He's working late tonight, and I'm in the house all alone. My health is very poor, and I've just been feeling so nervous all day.
Ringing Murray Hill 40098.
Hello?
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 Hello? Is Mr.
Hello?
Stevenson there? Hello?
Hello? Hello, George.
Yes, sir.
We've heard from our client. He says the coast is clear for tonight.
Yes, sir.
Where are you now?
I'm in a phone booth.
Hello? What
Okay,
number
you
is
know the
this?
address. At 11 o'clock, the private policeman goes around to the bar on 2nd Avenue for a beer. Be sure all the lights downstairs are out. There should be only one light visible from the street. At 11:15, a subway train crosses the bridge. It makes a noise in case her window is open and she should scream.
Oh, hello?
Okay,
What number am I?
Make it quick, as little blood as possible. Our client does not wish to make her suffer long.
A knife okay, sir?
Yeah, a knife will be fine. And remember, remove the rings and bracelets and the jewelry in the bureau drawer. My client wishes to make it look like a simple robbery.
Okay, I get it.
Oh! Oh, how awful! How unspeakably...
Your call, please.
Operator, I've just been cut off.
I'm sorry, madam. What number were you calling?
Well, it was supposed to be Murray Hill 40098, but it wasn't. I don't know, some wires must have crossed and I was cut into the wrong line, and I've just heard the most dreadful thing. A murder. Operator, we're simply going to have to retrace that call at once.
I beg your pardon, madam. I don't quite understand.
Oh, I know it was a wrong number and I had no business listening, but these two men, they were cold-blooded fiends. They were going to murder somebody, some poor innocent woman tonight at 11:15 in a house by a bridge.
What number are you calling again, madam?
That doesn't matter. This was a wrong number and you dialed it.
But, madam...
Oh, how can you be so stupid? Listen, this was obviously a case of some little slip of the finger. I told you to dial Murray Hill 40098, and you dialed it, but your finger must have slipped because I was cut into the wrong number. They could hear me. I mean, no, I could hear them, but they couldn't hear me.
Murray Hill 40098. I will try to get it for you, madam.
Oh, thank you.
I'm sorry, madam. For Murray Hill 40098 is busy.
Operator.
Yes, madam.
You didn't try to get that wrong number at all. I asked explicitly, and all you did was dial correctly.
I am sorry. What number were you calling?
Can't you forget for once what number I was calling and do something specific? Now listen, I want you to trace that call. It's my civic duty. It's your civic duty to trace that call and to apprehend those dangerous killers. And if you won't, then I will simply...
Madam, I will try to find the chief operator for you.
Please.
Hello, this is your chief operator.
Chief operator, I want you to trace a call, a telephone call, immediately. I don't know where it came from or who was making it, but it's absolutely necessary that you track it down, because it was about a murder. Yes, a cold-blooded murder of some poor innocent woman. Tonight at 11:15.
I see.
If you don't call it, I just don't know what to do.
Well, we aren't sure if we can trace that call or not, ma'am.
Can you trace it, though? Can you track down those men?
It depends on whether the call is still going on or not. If it is a live call, then we can trace it on our equipment. However, if it has been disconnected, we cannot.
Disconnected?
If the parties have stopped talking to one another.
Well, of course they must have stopped talking to each other by now. That was at least 5 minutes ago, and they didn't seem like the type to make a long telephone call.
Well, I can try tracing it for you, ma'am. And what is your name?
Mrs. Stevenson, Mrs. Albert Stevenson.
And your telephone number, please.
Plaza 42295. But listen, I just don't see what the point is.
And what is your reason for wanting the call traced?
My reason? Well, for heaven's sake, isn't it obvious? I overhear two men. They're killers. They're planning to murder someone. Oh,
Well, have you told the police, ma'am?
Well, no, how could I?
You're making this check purely as a private individual?
Yes, but meanwhile, these killers are going to...
Well, Mrs. Stevenson, I seriously doubt whether we can make this check for you at this time, seeing you're making it as a private individual. We'll have to have something more official.
Oh, for heaven's sake. You mean to tell me I can't call to report a murder without getting caught up in all this red tape? It's perfectly idiotic. All right, then I will call the police. Ridiculous.
Police Department, 43rd Precinct, Duffy speaking.
Yes, police department. This is Mrs. Stevenson, Mrs. Albert Smythe Stevenson at 53 North Sutton Place. I'm calling to report a murder.
Well,
Well, I mean, the murder hasn't actually been committed yet. I overheard plans for it on the telephone over a wrong number that the operator gave me. I've been trying to trace down the call myself, but everybody is just so stupid. Well, I guess in the end, you're the only people who could do anything.
yes, ma'am.
It was a perfectly definite murder. I overheard their plans distinctly. Two men, I heard them talking. They were going to murder a woman, some poor innocent woman. Tonight at 11:15. She lived all alone in a house near a bridge.
I see. When was all this, ma'am?
About 8 minutes ago. Oh, then you can do something? You do understand.
Okay, and what is your name, ma'am?
Mrs. Stevenson, Mrs. Albert Smythe Stevenson.
Well, we'll look into it, Mrs. Stevenson, see if we can check it with the telephone company, okay?
But the telephone company said they can't do anything if the parties have stopped talking to each other. I've already taken care of that.
Oh, yeah?
Well, yes. Personally, I think you should do something far more immediate and drastic than just check the call. I live very near a bridge, and I'm not far from 2nd Avenue. And we have a private patrolman on our street. And I know I'd feel much better if you just sent a private patrol car around to my neighborhood at once.
And what makes you think the murderer is in your neighborhood?
Oh, I don't know. It's just, the coincidence is so horrible. The bridge, the patrolman, 2nd Avenue.
Hey, 2nd Avenue is a very long street, ma'am. And do you know how many bridges there are in the city of New York alone, not to mention Staten Island, Queens, Brooklyn? And how do you know there's some little house on Staten Island on some little 2nd Avenue you've never heard of? How do you know they're even talking about New York at all?
But I heard the call in the New York dialing system.
Maybe it was a long-distance call you overheard. Telephones are funny things. Look, lady, why don't you look at it this way? Supposing you'd never broken in that call and you got your husband the way you do all the time, and, you know, maybe this murder wouldn't have made any difference to you at all.
I suppose not, but it's just so inhuman, so cold-blooded.
Hey, a lot of murders are committed every day in the city, and we'd love to stop them all if we could. But a clue like this, it's so vague, it's about as good as no clue at all.
But surely you can do something.
Unless you have some reason for thinking they may be planning to murder you.
Me? Why? No, hardly. I mean, why should anybody? I'm alone in my house all night and all day. The only person I see is my maid, Eloise. She's a big 200-pounder. She's even too lazy to bring up my breakfast tray. The other person I see is my husband, Albert, and, I mean, he's crazy about me.
Well, then there's nothing to worry about, is there? Just leave the rest of this up to us.
But what will you do? It's almost 11 o'clock now.
We'll take care of it, lady.
But will you broadcast it all over the city and send out police squads, especially to suspicious neighborhoods like mine?
Hey, I said we'd take care of it, lady, but right now I have a few more pressing matters, more immediate things on my desk that I have to attend to.
Oh! Idiot! Now, why did I do that? Now he'll think I am a fool. Oh, Albert, why don't you come home? Why don't you?